Ladies and gentlemen, it is March 11th, 7 p.m. here in the central time zone of the upper Midwest. And then Tim is much
in the
younger over
in
on
in,
the,
in the upper Pacific West.
yeah, much younger. He's younger than me today.
What is it? It's 5:03 p.m. So how you doing, brother?
Tim, I'm good. I'm good. The deer are out. The cranes are back. Geese are everywhere. The cardinals are flying. It's 40 degrees. Wisconsin is nice today.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
I need to come visit. I need to come
Hell
visit.
yeah. Wisconsin misses you. I asked it last night. They're like, where's Tim at?
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna pull out my cigar tonight. I'm smoking a Lancero. I never really smoked Lanceros, but the truth is, they actually can taste pretty good, and I have just a classical punch. So, and I think with the punch, I'm going to talk cigars for a second.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, I have this guillotine and uh, V cuts, and it's a nice little cutter. But I'm going to use, because it's a punch cigar, I'm going to use the punch. So you pull out this on the lighter, this little dilly bop. Have you seen these
Okay.
before?
Nope, I have not.
So the key to a good cut, I got to find my camera over here over and over, is most rookies, and I'm a glorified rookie, so most rookies cut too deep, too much.
Okay.
But after you smoke a cigar, whatever cut you make, it opens up when it gets soft and wet, so it opens up. So it's going to multiply times 5, whatever cut you make. So the key is, because this is um, a special wrap on the end that you cut to keep it all together. Cut too deep, it's you're missing everything and it can come apart. And but so you really want about the depth or of a dime, so not very deep at all to cut. So if I was going to do a V cut, which is this little switchblade dealy bop, you can see that the V is right there, and it makes this little V cut. And if you put the whole, this is counterintuitive here, the whole cigar in there, this would even cut way deeper than I'd wanted to cut. So if I was going to do, I'm going to do both cuts. So if I was going to do a V cut on this, a little Lancero, I barely just want to, I just want to just nick it. Just nick the end. That's even much deeper than I would normally do. But because
Let me see it, Tim. Let me see that cut.
well,
How deep is it?
you do one live and then it doesn't do really good. So I'm going to do it again. So you just a very, just a little bit of a nick. There we go.
There it is. No, over. Yeah, right there. Okay, yeah, just a nick.
Just a nick, and
You're not taking a chunk out at all.
no, and so, but people like deeper V cuts. They like them, and some of my most favorite people in the cigar industry that make, like Steve Saka from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. He's the one that really built Drew Estates, and they're king in the cigar industry. And but Steve says, no, the only cut you want is the guillotine, and this is the guillotine over here, right? That's the guillotine. Yep. And the you have aficionados that said, no, I want it to cut from both sides, both going in, and they have the scissor cuts or whatever. And he likes it just because it's a full spectrum smoke coming through. The whole end is cut off, even though it's really shallow. Always shallow, but some people like V, some people like the guillotine. And I'm going to cut this the third time, which you would never do, but for the show's sake, I'm going to show you what a little, on your lighters, there's a little draw stick. This is a jet lighter. I forget the name of it, but I got several of these. On the lighters themselves, if you look on let's get the side here, there's a little stick in here. that pops out, and that's
Okay.
for improving the draw. If you got a cigar with a bad draw, which happens from time to time, but it's not a good thing, and you stick that into the smoking the not the lit side, and you can just make a little better draw. Some people use these as a little poker to get if they want. They call them a nubber. So you stick it in the side here, and then you can hold this to get the final bit of your cigar, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The nubber. And so then this piece right here that I just pulled out is, man, it's weird with the camera. So that makes a little punch, and you can see the depth of it right there. That's a little thicker than a dime, so I don't really go. I don't push it all the way in, and you take this. I put the pressure on the lighter, not the cigar, because you can mess up your cigar if you try to push the cigar into the cutter. So I just take a little bit like this, and then I put the pressure, and you can turn the cigar, but I put the pressure like this, just like that's all you need, and that's the depth you want. And then let's see if I can get this to look right. No, there we go. It's just a little circle hole opening, and that inside will pop out if that was the only cut I did. It just pops out. So now you got just a little light of an opening, which is kind of cool, right?
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it's only less than a dime's width. So that's and then when you light, you have all kinds of lighters where you just have the old flick lighter, and those are cool with a soft flame, they call them. Or this one is a 3 flames in the inside. You can see that.
Joe.
And so that's one I use for primary lighting, but I like soft flame too. That's a little easier on a cigar. And then I have one here that's a 1, and that's like this one I use for touch up. And I think I forget the name. They're called Jetline. See the name of that? Jetline.
Yep.
Yeah. All
That's the
right.
lighter.
That's the name of the lighter. They're really inexpensive and they last forever. You want to get good lighter fluid, not lighter. I mean, truly it's called lighter fluid, but I use Zycar or whatever because if you buy the like the butane or whatever, the one from we have Coastals out here. Do you guys you remember Coastals when you were out here? Coastals are like Tractor Supply, only
Oh
better.
no. Nope. I don't
Yeah.
remember them. I remember Fred Meyer's.
Yeah, Fred Meyer's is big out here, but they're all tied to Albertsons, and I don't know if they're tied to Safeway or not. But there's a big grocery chain that owns Fred Meyer's, and they also own
Kroger.
Kroger, and then they're
I've
also
done a lot of work for Kroger.
yeah. There's a it's CFC or something like that up in Portland. There's a chain of grocery stores that are just like them, and they're all owned by Albertsons as well, or one vice versa. So okay, so when we go to light, I mean, this flame, you can see it's a little flame, but I can make it huge, right? That's above my head. So you turn it way down. That's all you really need. And then you want to, toast it, but don't burn the hell out of it. A lot of people make that mistake too, that they over burn it and it can affect the taste. And you just want to, so it's really lit on the edges. And throughout the whole end of the cigar, right? Because you don't want to get burning just on one side and then it troughs. And then we go, and I'll touch it up from there to get a full light. That's the exciting news of the cigar world.
Well, I learned a lot right there. But I've never smoked them. I need to go buy one so I can smoke one on the next show.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to send you some. I'll send you a couple of good ones because you can. So the cheaper ones can get good when they're aged, But usually you don't want a bad experience by a cheap cigar that tastes terrible. And I say cheap not by how much you pay, but by how
by
much,
not knowing what you're buying.
yeah, quality. Yeah. So I'll send you some cigars and we can have a. The cool thing I like about cigars is that they're actually being a health guy. They're, and smoking doesn't seem to go hand in hand, but they're. I've yet to find in studies or otherwise a negative about cigar smoking, and that's pretty amazing. I have never found someone that's a cigar smoker that has lung cancer. Never have. And I found some that smoke cigarettes that are, of course, and the benefits of it raises testosterone, gives you the nicotine actually is a plus, and so I just love everything about cigars, the discussion points and everything else. But I'm not pushing them. I just think they're a great conversation piece, slows you down. And there are some bad effects of vaping, right?
What is it?
There are some side effects to vaping.
Yeah.
So I would put up a cigar smoker health wise versus a vapor any day of the week. So now smoke is smoke, I get it, but um, I just
I'm
you
a.
know,
I like to smoke weed out of vapes.
and I think there's the other thing I like about cigars. I like the culture. There's a cigar communities that you can get involved with, and they're usually pretty decent people. And
It's kind of a. It's they're. It's going to be a big deal. Like I know a lot of people that they go and smoke cigars. Well, all right, Tim. So we had news about Bitcoin, right? Donald Trump come out and said he's going to do a reserve, then it drops. What's going on with Bitcoin right now? What's happening? Besides, we're buying.
yeah, so I look at again, just I sound like a broken record. I'm a systems guy. I like to build good systems in life and business, parenting, everything, because a system you can always improve it, but it just gets better and better, and then you can um, understand the probabilities and it actually more determinative of outcomes by doing the same thing every time for a consistent outcome. And then you're free in your mind to be a lot more creative when you're not worried about, oh, did I do this or did I do that? But when you have a system, you got a checklist, you got why you do what you do, and boom, anybody can run the system. And that's how we buy back time, through delegation of good systems, whatever. So I look at investing very similar. Everything to me is a system. I'm seeking to put quality data in, remove bad data, look at past results, and try to determine the probabilities of what most affects the markets. We got a pretty good history in every area, whether it's futures or commodities or stocks or whatever. So we see the dollar going down a little bit. One of the biggest things that affects Bitcoin is liquidity, and liquidity is determined really by how much M2 or money supply, and this is determined by the individual feds across the country, and then what's going on overseas with the dollar. And as it becomes more available, not just determined by interest rates, sometimes it's the market determines the interest rate when you look at bonds and treasury bills, right? So you look,
Yep.
it gets fluctuated by who's going to buy at what price. And so when that adjusts, it has an impact on how much capital is available for people to loan, And when it's free flowing, it it can create some instability in the other markets, right? You get too much capital flowing, then inflation hits or whatever, and it tends to cause a Bitcoin to go up because there's a little more concern. And when it's tightening up, um, and one's not really. I'm not here to say one's worse and better. I'm just saying this is what happens, and Bitcoin tends to go down. And right now, I believe Bitcoin's a little bit oversold. Um, there are a lot of buyers. I've said this for some time around the 75, 76,000 range. And so when there's a lot of buyers, that means there's people that want to take advantage of a lower price. And so it gets kind of close there and then it pops up, right? So I think we're in for, I posted the other day, I think I posted today. I don't know, I'm starting to do that a little bit more. I'll do some videos on a little updates. But I think around the fourth, say fourth-ish, it could be the fourth or the seventh, anytime around the fourth, 2 or 3 days, one way or the other. And I keep up, I'll update this as we get closer. Of April, we're going to see this stable out a little bit. It kind of goes up and down right now. It's volatile, but it wipes out the retail investor. And at my level, I'd probably still be considered a retail investor. So, but it wipes out people that are weak need, that aren't in it for the long term, because it goes up and they're great and then they sell, or it drops and they're panicking and they sell. And so you look at volume, you look at who's buying. I don't think there's a lot of countries that are buying, and they're buying gold too, right? And so um, I don't put a lot of value in what the U.S. is doing on a reserve. I don't think it hurts any of the price, and it certainly makes the awareness. But it also, sailor, whatever they're doing, they're doing. I'm just looking at, okay, what's the likelihood of where it's going from where it is? And I really don't care a whole lot about price. It could be 200,000, but if I thought it was going,
but if it's going to go up to 225, then we're going to buy it.
yeah, exactly. And so people get hung up. Well, I bought in at 92. Oh no! I said, well, hang
if
on.
it goes to 120, who gives a fuck,
That's
homie?
right.
You made money.
Exactly.
The blue collar way. So that's a shift in thinking, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
if you can buy at a certain price and sell at a certain higher price, you won.
you win. If you can beat inflation, yes. And you have to have a short term memory about losses, and when you know that's why this is why systems will save your butt. We're emotional creatures. Oh, drop $3,000. I'm going to sell. No, what's the systems telling you? The systems tell you, well, there's a lot of buyers at a certain price, and there's not a lot of sellers or what. So you look at the systems and the signals, and you build these signals, and it takes you time, but then you follow them, right? And if it's telling you, yeah, doesn't there's some dips that are coming, but overall the trend looks like very bullish, and I've been that way for a while, right? It was that way when it was 48, 49,000, right? So yeah, I'm following the trends, and I've gotten in and out, but primarily I get out at the top or close to the top. I don't care to be right about the exact penny, but it's trends. And then I've been buying for a while now. I was all the way out, and then I just been every day I buy a little bit, and I buy at a price that I like based on what I think may happen. And then I put I always have buys in place when I'm in the buy mode at maybe 1,500, 1,000 lower, whatever, and then another buy at where I think the bottom's going to be, and then right above that. So I've been predicting 95, 96. Well, 96.5, I got some buys. Not 96, 80. I've been
86.5, yeah.
but I'm even going down to 76.5. I've been predicting 75, 76, and I get my numbers right. So I had some buys hit because I put in buys and quite some while ago, a couple of weeks ago, whatever. I have incremental buys based on where I see the bottom's going to be according to the systems. And the systems are telling me 75, 76,000 is kind of bottoming out. Now we may hit that bottom and then it go up and down, but not further down, up and down. We may hit the bottom and then it goes up and then it goes back down and then back up, back down. And that's what's happening now. That's what I think is going to happen until about the 4th of April, till somewhere around the 28th, between the 4th and the 28th of April, all during April, sometime we're going to get the bump because I think there's a major liquidity is going to hit. The stabilization of the market of Bitcoin is going to go, and then you get the trend follower. See, they're starting riding it up, and I think that's what's going to happen. I'm pretty bullish, so I don't know. I'm not predicting its probability. The probability is that it's going to go up is pretty high. So I'm betting.
Well, now that we got that out of the way, we're buying. We're buying till into April.
Yeah.
Watch Twitter. It'll all come out.
Yeah,
You'll tweet every.
I'm 100% in right now, and price is, I don't know if it's 82, 83,000 right now. It's kind of fluctuating between 77 and 83. I think anytime you can buy between now and the 4th,
82.7 right now.
Yeah, it's a good buy. To me, just be in before the 4th, and then every day watch it. I would still. I'm fully in, right? You've watched me get. Okay, I'm 5% in. I'm 25.
Yep, 10. Yeah, 35. I'm 65. I'm 100 in. I'm 100 in. We're in it now.
I'm in. I got close enough when I was predicting 75 and 76 when it was 99, 98. I said, I think we can get a dip in here. I want to be buying in as it goes down. And I left about 10, 15% when I was, because I'd buy in another 5%, another 10% as it was going down in the 80s. I think I started at 86.7 and then just goes 80, 83, 81, 79. And then I had I think I was 75, 80% for a while. I was holding back 15%. And then it got the high 70s, bought more, but I kept 5% back. And then when it hit 76.5, I hit the last 5%. So 75, 70, 76.5 or 76.6, so right around in there. And so people hear me and they think, I missed the 76. I wouldn't think that way. Now's an opportunity at 82, right? Grab it. And we're not going to be talking about, I got in at 76.6.
I've been buying since 91.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. That's really cool.
I just buying down. We'll buy all the way to the bottom.
That's called daily cost averaging, DCA. And I think it's smart. Hey, the economy is we're kind of same topic, but shifting gears a little bit. The economy is bad. I mean, housing, every sector, it is bad. Now, the outlook of hope is pretty decent, but as we predicted, this is a little different in probability and predictions. The Democrats, libtards, are being funded by communists. It's just communist. When you start,
who'd have thought? You mean it wasn't grassroots? What? It's almost scripted.
How thuggish, how communistic is it to go after destroying property like Tesla? You go to individual owners of Tesla dealers.
Just fucking with the citizenry. These guys need fucking bullets in their head, straight up. Just fucking headshot these motherfuckers. Because that's not doing nothing to Elon. He made his money, homie. You're fucking
even
fucking normal human.
Even if it was doing something to Elon,
Yeah, fuck that.
Worse.
What are
So,
you doing? So now we're gonna.
but it is hurting people.
Yeah.
It's hurting local owners. It's hurting local people that want to buy. It's hurting the local community because that's thuggery. It's called terrorism. You're
Yeah.
threatening. Now people would become. There's a lot of people that aren't Elon Musk fans that own Teslas. Now they're out and about, and what are they? It's just wrong, right? And so, I mean, we have a society where that should judgment should come, justice should be there, and it's not. And you look at how these DAs have been promoted through George Soros and USAID. You know, you can see the money being funneled for these district attorneys to win elections. You see police being stripped, financially of cutting back on every aspect of their departments, and then hiring less qualified, and then giving these corrupt DAs where they throw the police in prison. I mean, I'm hey, you got a bad cop? I think they ought to be cut. Right? I don't.
Yeah.
That's intolerable, and yet that's it's not. You can't remove law and order from society and then promote thuggery, and it's the old. How do you take down a culture, a society that you want to be um, let the thugs control, in communism. Communism, I almost hate to say the word because it sounds like the 1950s, right? But it's just what it is. I mean, it's brute power of an instigated mob to go after and break down law and order so that the few can truly control. We think we got the few controlling now. Well, it's because we've dealt with this. We haven't had true capitalism probably since the 20s.
Right. Once they made the Fed, it was on its way out.
Yeah, once they made the Fed, then they orchestrated a fall. The Fed was 1913. Uh,
Wasn't far behind then, was it?
no, and then you see 1928 when you had the Roaring Twenties and Hoover getting slammed, and then the Great New Deal, the Depression that was orchestrated. That's when they took, made it illegal to own gold, if you can believe that, and they had price fixing, and they, did all this crap, and then they created World War II. It's just you. We could go all the way back there and see the USA problem. It's the same issue. They were funneling money off, causing money to go to the power brokers and whittling away of a great society. Right?
Hey, so we've been about 1 week. How is Doge in your mind now? How's Elon doing in his tasks?
Well, if you want to measure results, we haven't gotten any results.
Nope.
Zero. But and maybe his role, I'd give him an A or B plus A. I mean, this is awesome. We're talking about the right things. But finding waste uh, is not the result. Getting justice, getting the money back. You start
Cutting the waste. Yeah, yeah.
you start hanging people.
Fly
People think
back.
twice about running for office and being a Democrat and stealing. They've stolen from us, and until there's justice, and now, you saw that the writer for Alex Jones, Jamie White, was murdered 2 nights ago.
Yep.
Sunday night was murdered in Austin. And he was on the Ukraine hit list. I don't know if people know that. He was on the Ukraine hit list because he was anti-Ukraine and wrote pretty prolifically about the money laundering. Did that have anything to do with it? Well, you can
Yes.
ask the question now. And then two, Austin is a shithole. The police are so hampered. They defunded the police, and then they allow rapists, thugs, homeless, everything take over the city, and they don't even prosecute because they have Garcia is one of the worst district attorneys in the country.
Hey,
He does not prosecute. I mean, he tried to put the guy in jail that was in traffic, and a guy brought an AR-15 to his window because they were protesting. Um, I don't know, Trump back first term, right? Something going on, just protesting everything. So they're shutting down traffic, and the guy came over with an AR-15. So this guy was an army guy, took out his pistol and dropped him, and and then they tried to put him away in prison. That's just the bullshit, right? And when that's rampant, you get this. And so they didn't know if it was a robbery gone bad. Nobody knows what happened Sunday night to Jamie. It's just. But I can tell you, it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't a Soros-funded DA in there, and Austin was a clean city again. So
yeah.
it's wrong, and it may have been the Ukrainians. It may have been the pro-Ukrainian movement in the states that are numbnuts. They're jackbooted. I mean, they're thugs. They're not like the police thugs, which exist, but they're this AstroTurf-funded create terror. They're terrorists, is what they are.
Yes, that's what it is.
And unfortunately, it's going to continue to get worse as long as we get closer and closer to who is grifting the money and starting pouring back to these politicians. And he said, how can you give the billions of dollars to Podesta, a known pedophile, right
This is sick.
before Biden gets out of office? And it was like, what, $357 billion? I mean, what the?
Or Stacey Abrams, $2 billion. I mean, it's just a fucking get rid of it. It was just a big cash grab at the end there.
And the problem is that we hear it so often now that we, all right, I gotta go to work.
Yep, that's exactly right. And $1 billion doesn't even register in my mind anymore. It's just a fucking word that they say. Doesn't mean anything. Hey, but before we get before we get too deep and have to go, I want to shout out my favorite congressman,
Yeah.
Congressman Massey,
Yes.
because he's the only principled dude that I mean in that side. I think that Paul's probably pretty over in the Senate's pretty
Yeah.
principled guy, but
Yeah.
but for the fucking TikTok shit show that the fucking House is right now, let's shout out Mr. Massey because he's a phenomenal human. Trump tries to fucking squeeze him. He's like, okay, I got 84% last time. We'll see how it goes. But I'm not voting for this shit. And hey, I love that guy. I love that guy. You know what else I love? He made this badass chicken coop that I saw. He's just a regular. He's a dude.
You know his story?
I a little bit. Yeah.
It's so unfortunate. He lost his wife like last 2
Oh
years.
yeah. I did know that.
And she
yeah.
died of unknown causes. Really, it was just out of the blue. You just wonder about that stuff, right? So this guy was he was an MIT grad, several patents. He's smart as a tack, but he's a farmer. He's raising cattle, living in Kentucky.
Welding on his tractors.
Yeah, he built his own house, and
Yep.
it's self-sufficient. Using alternative methods, solar, and I don't know if he uses hydrogen. I think he does, but he's an engineer, smart dude, and family guy, great children. So he wasn't interested in politics, but they started coming after him for raising cattle and regulation, and then he saw his neighbors and other people getting in trouble by the law and doing nothing wrong. So he ran for city council or local county council, to make some changes, and he did great. And they sent him to Congress. And the guy I love his door. No, No
I
packs.
haven't seen it.
No,
Oh, no packs.
yeah, we're not doing
He's
any
principled, that's for sure.
So you'll find,
Can we get like 200 more of those?
yeah, they're coming. I think
Is
it's
the
kind
TikTok era going to go away? The fucking 5 second hit for social media? That's all they're doing. And they're not governing at all. They're just trying to get their next fucking little fucking video shot so they can have in their next campaign. It's
what?
ridiculous. I think a lot of that's because of Act Blue, USAID, the other one,
But then we just
APAC or something.
passed the CR bill to continue funding the same shit.
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
they
Oh,
asked me.
it's clean, Tim. It's clean CR. I'm like, what? Then it's dirty. If it was clean last year, it's dirty this year, homie.
And you get all these idiot Republicans lambasting Massey. You know,
For what?
we gotta pay this budget so we can have time to do our thing. No, shut the motherfucker down.
Figure it out.
Just shut it.
That's it. Shut it down. Do it, motherfuckers. Make the Democrats shut us down.
And then cut all the stuff out. Don't fund it anymore. Don't
Yes.
close USA
That's
down.
the whole point of Doge. What's the
That's
whole
what I'm
point
saying.
of it? We're gonna have to make some moves in the Congress, or it's worthless.
But remember, who was pushing passing the CR?
Oh, Trump. Trump
Trump.
was one big beautiful bill.
So he's doing good on a lot of things, and when he's right, it's good. But when Trump is wrong, it's devastating. Trump is wrong. He's wrong. Everything you need to know about Trump is look at Thomas Massey.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is uninformed and an idiot, a total fucking idiot. I'll say it live. Trump, you are a total fucking idiot. You need to get rid of some people that are around you because they're not informing you of the truth. And to be against Thomas Massey, you're getting the backlash. I can guarantee you, Trump is getting inundated with "you're an idiot" for going after Thomas Massey. You did this once before. He's still in office, and you got kicked out of office.
It's true. He got in there with 84% of the vote. That's a
I'm
pretty big
telling you,
number in
the
politics.
people that are fed up, they're willing to go to arms, and it's coming there.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're not carrying, you're an idiot. I mean, you need to be trained, but hey, I don't want to be. My wife's not safe anywhere now. She's just not safe. This is not a safe society. When you have paid terrorists everywhere in these libtard Democrat funded undermine our society, it's just not a safe place. And now they're pushing. They're pushing for a civil war. They're pushing for it. Well, enough people are saying, "I've had enough. You're going to push it? Let's duel it out." And when that happens, yeah, it's going to be devastating. There's going to be hard times because it's going to get worse and worse and worse. But it's time to clean it out. The problem is
Bitcoin and gold, ladies and gentlemen, and
yeah,
guns.
ammo. The problem is, and growing lettuce, right? You need to grow something in your garden, have some chickens. But the problem is that they have no scruples. They're very violent. You don't see a bunch of Republicans going out blowing up libtard stuff or painting, libtard dustless. You don't see that. You don't see a bunch of conservatives beating up people. No, they're defending. They're always on the defense, and sometimes they just draw the line to don't have enough. Then you got the Proud Boys and whatever oath keepers, and they throw them in prison for just saying enough's enough. You cross the line, you're going to get punched, right? And I don't know a whole lot about them. I could be saying things. It's kind of like Andrew Tate. I love the Tate brothers. Gosh, they're awesome. If you want to see a powerful interview, listen to the entire interview between Patrick Bet David and Andrew Tate. It's just
I
recent.
listened to it.
Powerful. Now, you may not believe in his marriage views or different, but you know what? The guy's principled. The guy wants to make a difference. The guy's sharing information to make boys men, not making them little girls and pedophiles. And he's had enough. And he's not been convicted of anything. And yet we got an AG from Florida that's trying to incarcerate him. What an idiot. And we incarcerate people in America without evidence. What an idiot because of social media. What an idiot. Now, do I support everything Andrew Tate's ever done in his life? Well, he probably doesn't support everything I've done in my life. So, when is that the measuring stick?
Yeah.
Hey,
when,
he did.
when is that?
He,
Hey, I got
he
to run,
did.
Tim,
He
real
did
quick here.
cam girls. He
Yeah.
made them money. Made money doing that years ago. He doesn't hide from that. But you want to know who's one of the highest influential people against pornography there is?
Who?
Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
You listen, he's so anti-porn. He talks to young men all the time. Quit. Stop this nonsense. It's a wasting your time. And be a man. And men don't do that. And so you want to. I follow trends in Bitcoin. You want to follow a trend? Look at him. Look at his trend. I'm sound like I am an advocate for Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. You know what? They're common sense about law. They're common sense about economy. They're common sense about social, cultural things. And yeah, so they don't see things the way somebody else may see them in a, Christian way or whatever. Well, I'll tell you what. I've been harmed more by pseudo Christians than anybody else, right? And not knocking anybody's religion, but that's just it's BS, man. And now you look at Trump. He was convicted, right? He was convicted of over a bunch of BS, and so now we can't even trust our course. I just have to even if he was convicted, you have to look and see. Well, wait a minute. Was it? Alex Jones was convicted, billions of dollars. What nonsense for what? Owen Schroyer, the other sidekick, was convicted and put in prison for what? Being at the rally and telling people, be peaceful, don't go into the Capitol on a bullhorn. And they put him in prison. And because it was a violation of a previous issue where he protested in a hearing in Congress, what nonsense. And people do it again all the time and nothing happens to him. And yet, and they put him in prison. Never forgive, never forget. Hold the line, man. That is
Hold the line.
Yeah. So anyway, I am I like that the Tate brothers were fighters because they know how to conquer fear and to win, and they're successful. And people will accuse them of womanizing and all this. Um, you look at the trend, and you know what? He's got uh, baby mamas, right? He may not like it, but he's like a king, right? And that's the way he looks at it. He chooses that and he's open about it, but he takes care of the moms and he has a relationship with them and a relationship with his children, right? He buys them a house, he takes care of them so they don't have to work, he provides for the children, and he's involved with their lives.
That's it.
And you heard
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I listened to the whole thing, but I do got to go get mine because she is almost done with practice.
And that's it on the Knuckle Dragger University for this evening. So,
All
what
right,
else is
brother.
coming up? You're not doing golf tonight?
Nope,
No golf. No golf.
not tonight.
All right. Well, as usual, I did all the talking, Chris. Don't even know anything.
Hey, dude, you had the best. That's how it's always going to be because I'm not going to shut your brain up. I'm gonna soak it up like a sponge, brother. I appreciate you, everybody. We will be back here, same time, same place next week.
All right. Be good. See you, everybody. Thanks.